Hello everyone, it's Finesetti, and it's no secret that we've had a pretty turbulent start to the year of 2021, with new lockdowns coming in, with interest rates starting to go up in the US. Well, the stock market has been absolutely hammered, but now we have another issue, which is a blockage in the Suez Canal. This impacts world trade on such a scale, and we're going to get into it. I'm going to explain everything you need to know, but basically, the stock market is having so many small things happening to it that when these little things start to clear up, I think we're going to see a massive run up towards the upside as everything starts to get back in order. Let's start with a map. Well, as you see here, you might recognize this planet. It is Earth. And what I want to show you is that there are two canals here and here, which are some of the biggest shipping arteries in the world because they shave a bunch of time off of shipping routes. So if you want to get a ship from Asia to Europe, you would go through a canal here, which is called the Suez Canal. And if you want to get from anywhere on this side to this coast of the Americas, you would go through the Panama Canal, most likely, unless you're coming from South Africa. But even then, you might consider going here for the northern countries. So the Panama Canal and the Suez Canal are the biggest, busiest canals in the world, perhaps only rivaled by the area of Singapore, which is right on the bottom of Malaysia. And why Singapore is so advanced, because all of the ships from Asia, basically, well, they want to come from here, from China, from Vietnam, from the Philippines, from Indonesia, from Japan. If they want to get to Europe, well, they pass right through Singapore. They can also pass through Jakarta, but that's a little bit longer, so they tend to just go through Singapore. So let's just take Singapore as a starting point, and I've measured here the route through the Suez Canal. Well, if you measure that out, it's this, so almost 10.8 thousand kilometers. Whereas, if you had to go all the way from here around Africa to get into Europe, let's end it at Portugal, let's do that measurement too, it would look something like this, right? You go from Singapore, you have to sail all the way around Africa to get to Portugal, and then you can use truck or whatever to get to the rest of Europe. Well, guys, this doubles the distance that you would need to go. That's a huge additional expense for ships. If you need to travel twice the distance, well, that's double the fuel, that's double the crew time, double everything. That's why the Suez Canal is so important, because it cuts the shipping time from Asia to Europe in half. And if you want to think about how long it takes in general to get from Asia through the Suez Canal into Europe, well, guys, you can just do a quick little Google search, average sea time from Asia to Europe, and you come up with 30 to 48 days, 30 days. It seems like 30 days was pretty much the approximation that I was getting, which means that if it takes 30 days to go this way and you double the distance, it's going to take you 60 days to go all the way around Africa to get into Europe. 60 days instead of 30 days to get goods from Asia into Europe. And the Suez Canal blockage has now been going on for, I think, approximately 1 week. So that means everything that goes by ship from Asia to Europe to the US has been delayed by already 1 week, because people say, all right, well, we could just sail out and go around Africa, but they're hoping that this problem is fixed earlier than the time it would take them to sail all the way around, right? Because you're adding a whole month if you need to get around Africa. So now we understand, first of all, why the Suez Canal is important, because it cuts the shipping time from Asia to Europe in half, and we know how long it takes to go from Asia to Europe. So 30 days if you go through the Suez Canal, 60 days if you go all the way around Africa. And now what we need to understand is how much of all international shipped goods go by ship. Well, once again, our good friend Google is going to help us out here. So just how much of shipping is by ship? Well, in fact, a full 90% of everything is shipped by ocean and sea freight. If you check again down here, another source, it says roughly 90% of the world's goods are transported by sea, with over 70% as containers on cargo. Guys, 90% of all goods traded go by ship. That means that if you take that 90% of all trade in the world, and then you say, well, how much of that 90% is between Asia and Europe? I reckon it's huge. I reckon it's probably like around half of that. Well, half of 90% is 45%. It means that 45% of all international trade in the world is now delayed because of delays at the Suez Canal. 45% of global trade. Guys, the stock market cannot catch a break here, okay? Think about this. If you have any perishable goods, well, I don't know how long they can stay at sea. A lot of goods as well suffer from being at sea. They are exposed to very moist air. They're exposed to salt in the air as well. Now, if you want an even better idea of just how many ships there are in the sea, well, as we see here, we have this great website called Vessel Finder, which we'll come back to in a second. But for whatever reason, I must have my settings not set up exactly to see all the ships, because if you go here, and shout out to this guy, IBX2Cat, for showing me this video, well, you see just how many ships are all over the world, right? There's just boats everywhere. So 90% of all international trade, well, now it starts to make sense when you see this image, doesn't it? What's great about Vessel Finder, though, is we can go and we can actually go to the Suez Canal and we can see what's happening in the moment that it's happening. So right here, we have the Evergiven, which is the boat that everybody is talking about and the boat that is stuck. And if we were to zoom in even more, we can even see the boat, and you can see that there's a lot of people working on it right now, trying to fix this boat, trying to get it out of the way. And it does seem that slowly they are being able to right this boat, and hopefully they'll be able to get it out of this canal. But guys, check this out. You may be thinking, okay, if this is such an important artery in the world, how can a boat get stuck here? Like, why are there no systems in place? Well, guys, digging an additional canal is very expensive and takes a very long time. So look, there are some parts of the Suez Canal which do have double lanes. So if you go here to the second half, after one of the first lakes that you go to, well, you do see that they do have 2 lanes here, as well as some places where you guys can, flip between the 2 lanes in case something bad were to happen. You see 2 lanes, but once again, over here, it combines back into just 1 lane. And then you might be wondering, well, how big are these shipping lanes actually that one ship is able to clog up the whole thing? Well, let's go back to the Evergiven, which is approximately here. And if I go to Google Maps and we just go to the same spot, I'm going to speed run this real quick. It's about here. And I just measure from here to here. We see that this is about 934 feet, which is approximately 300 meters of width. And guys, these boats are huge. If you've ever seen them in a port, you know that 300 meters isn't a lot. So now we understand the issue. We understand what the scale of the issue is. Let's dive in now to the exact numbers of how much global trade flows specifically through the Suez Canal and how much this is costing the global economy per hour. I found those 2 numbers for you guys. So let me flip this camera right around. Currently, about 13% of world trade passes through the Suez Canal. And there's a couple of other sources that both say like 13, 12% approximately. So guys, 13% of all global trade is currently stuck in the Suez Canal because the Evergiven has run ashore. That's an absolutely huge number. And to give you an idea of just how much it is costing everyone, it says here that the blockage is delaying an estimated $400 million of goods every single hour, which comes out to 5.1 billion a day one way and 4.5 billion a day the other day, for a total of $9.6 billion per day. And now we think, okay, well, when did this start? So guys, if we do some simple math, well, this happened on the 23rd of March, and this is costing about $9.6 billion per day. And today, it's currently the 29th. So if we take the 23rd to the 29th, that's 6 days times 9.6. what do we get? We get already $58 billion of goods which have been delayed. But guys, that's not it. The boat isn't out of there yet. I mean, they're starting to free it. It's looking good. It's looking like it might get cleared up within the next 12 to 24 hours, which would be great. However, there is a huge backlog of ships just waiting to pass. Let me show you this. Well, you see here, there's a bunch of ships just stranded here, waiting because they can't make the passage. And on the other side, there's more ships too. They're all just waiting because they can't get through right now. And the more I zoom out, the more ships we actually see appearing here. Well, guys, so the Suez Canal can pass approximately 50 ships every single day. Guys, we have 369 boats waiting to transit the canal. So if they can pass 50 boats per day, that means that in addition to the 6 days that this has already taken, we need to figure out how long it's going to take to clear this backlog, which is very easy. We're just going to take 369 boats divided by 50 boats per day. Well, this is going to take another 7 and almost a half days. So guys, if we take the total of 7.5 days, and this is assuming that this is going to get cleared up today. You know what? Let's not assume that. Let's assume it's still going to take 24 hours. So it's going to take 7 days from the 23rd all the way to the 30th. And well, let's just say no more boats get stuck. So it's still going to be a slightly optimistic number. So then we take the 7.38 days that it's going to take to clear all the backlog of the boats waiting, plus the 7 days that it's taken to actually get the canal open again. We have 14.4-ish days to actually clear up this whole issue. So 14.4 days of goods which are delayed times the $9.6 billion per day, or $400 million per hour, if you'd like, that this is costing in delays. Well, we're going to get a number of approximately $138 billion worth of goods which are currently being delayed by this whole Suez Canal issue. Guys, 138 billion US dollars. If you need something to compare just how much 138 billion dollars is in costs, well, it costs as much as the hurricane costs if you combine the years of 2018 and 2019. So the Suez Canal issue cost 138 billion. The hurricanes over those 2 years cost 136 billion. Guys, so the Suez Canal is equivalent to 2 years of hurricanes. That's the impact that this is having right now on the global trade economy. So now you might be saying, okay, well, what is then actually the impact on the stock market of this? Well, that's pretty difficult to calculate because fortunately, $138 billion per year, well, if you think about the global GDP, it's actually not a huge amount. Maybe it comes out to like below 1%, 0.5% probably. I think the world GDP is approximately 86 trillion. So it comes out to be like 0.5, 0.2, 0.3%, something like that. But the point is that not only are these goods delayed, you're also delaying all the supply chains which are counting on those goods arriving on time. And you're delaying them by a week, by 3 weeks. Some of these ships are still going to be stuck there for a while as they're trying to get clear through all the backlog for 2 weeks. All the supply chains by 2 weeks. It means that warehouse inventories will be at a record low. That they actually said in an article that it will be as low as right before the Chinese New Year. Guys, this is huge news. If you want to be informed of this, oh, by the way, I think this is going to affect the stock market by like 1% in total overall, probably. So this is still something significant to know about and to be like, oh, okay, this is a reason why we're going to see the stock market affected by 1%. Please remember that in the average year, the stock market only goes up 7 or 8%. So to have 1/7 of the loss caused by this ship crisis, well, that's huge, guys. 1/7 of your gains were probably wiped out because of the Suez Canal issue. Think about that. Thank you guys for watching. If you want more videos in the moment that I'm bringing out this news, if you got smarter, make sure you subscribe and take care. See you guys in the next one. Bye.